Hey guys, it's Meg, and today I'm excited to talk about the happiest place on earth. We're gonna talk about, if you can see from my shirt there, Disneyland! Okay, so I've been wanting to film a sit-down Disneyland video for a while because Disneyland is such a magical place and it deserves some love and attention. So here on my channel, I mainly frequent Walt Disney World Resort. Walt Disney World will always be my home park. Walt Disney World Resort in Orlando, Florida, that is where I am planning to move in the near future here. So, that is always going to be my favorite place to be. But with all that being said, I absolutely adore and love Disneyland. It's the original Disney park. How can you not love Disneyland? So when I live in Orlando, I've already always said this, I'm going to frequent Disneyland a lot more than I do right now. And I would love to eventually, hopefully Disney will bring back the Premier Passport, which is the annual pass to both Disney World and Disneyland. I would love to one day, that's my ideal future. I picture myself, living in Orlando full time and being a pass holder on both coasts. That would be amazing. Live in Disney World, vacation in Disneyland. How can it get any better? So today, when I am posting this video, is actually Disneyland's 66th anniversary. I believe 66, right? So I wanted to do a Disneyland themed video this week. I've decided to talk about the 10 things that I love most about Disneyland in Anaheim, California. So I have been to Disneyland 4 times. Yes, I've been 4 times in my life. I went twice when I was younger, and then I went for the first time with my parents in 2017. It was right after the Diamond Celebration in 2016. We went in 2017. That was it was my mom's first time ever in Disneyland, ever in California. It was my dad's first time being there since he was 4 years old. So he, loved, it was basically his first time as well, getting to experience it and remember everything. I will go ahead and link that vlog series. That was my first time vlogging Disneyland. Then I was most recently out there, believe it or not, it's going on 2 years ago in August of 2019. I will go ahead and link that playlist right here. That was when I went out for the D23 Expo at the Anaheim Convention Center, my first time ever at D23. So I am a Disneyland girl. I love it. Like I said, Walt Disney World is my main, home park, and so that's what my channel mainly revolves around. But I do, if you're newer to my channel, I have been out to Disneyland before, and so I have those playlists you can go watch if you want to see me out there in Disneyland. But for this video, like I said, I wanted to go ahead and today talk about my top 10 favorite things that I love about the Disneyland Resort in Anaheim, California. So this list is really in no particular order, and I'm sure I'm also going to be editing this and saying oh my gosh, I should have mentioned that, I should have included that. I'm sure I'm forgetting things as well, but I just really was making this list and wanted it to just be off the cuff, me just thinking about Disneyland. I was watching some Disneyland vlogs recently and I was just yeah, I miss Disneyland. I'm ready to get back there, hopefully very soon. All right, so starting off with number 1, my first thing that I love so much about Disneyland is kind of what I touched on already, the fact that it is the original park. Disneyland is the park that started it all. This was Walt Disney's original theme park, and he was alive through the whole creation of Disneyland. Walt's ultimate dream was to have the space that Florida was able to provide, and so his dream, was to create Walt Disney World, but sadly he never got to actually see Walt Disney World in its final product. But Disneyland, he has his actual hands-on touches everywhere out there. And I just love, I'm a history person, especially a Disney history person. So for me, nothing beats walking down Main Street USA and knowing that Walt himself walked there. And that's the thing that's just so cool, is you see all those iconic photos of Walt, standing, somewhere in front of the castle, Sleeping Beauty Castle, the one where he's walking back behind Sleeping Beauty Castle. And it's you go stand there yourself and you're oh my gosh, that's where that picture was taken. You can almost line it up exactly. And it's just, that is so cool. So that's why I had to have this be my first reason that I love Disneyland. And let me tell you, if you are a Disney lover and you have never been out to Disneyland yet, it will be an emotional experience for you. It's going to be something that means so much to you. That's how it always is for me when I go. It just, it all sinks in, and it really is something that, yeah, if you're a Disney park person, if you love Walt Disney World and have yet to go to Disneyland, trust me, when you go to Disneyland, you are just in for such a treat, because nothing beats that feeling and just seeing all the history that's out there, learning as you go along. Like, you'll sometimes go into like a shop on Main Street or something, and you know, you see pictures, like vintage pictures of Walt Disney. The Disneyland Hotel has so many pictures of Walt Disney with the celebrities that stayed at that hotel. There is just so much rich history out in Disneyland. It is amazing. Okay, so the second thing that I love about Disneyland, like I said, these are just like in no particular order. I was just like sitting down, like dreaming of Disneyland. My second thing is going to be the castle walkthrough out there. So Sleeping Beauty Castle, while it's not the grandeur of Cinderella Castle, and Cinderella Castle always has to be my favorite because it's my home park and I love Cinderella Castle in Walt Disney World, but Sleeping Beauty Castle is so charming. So yes, it's tiny. It's like when you are standing on Main Street USA, the buildings on Main Street USA are actually bigger than the castle itself. Like, it's so polar opposite of Florida when you're used to, you know, standing there and be like, oh my gosh, you know, Cinderella Castle is so huge. But that being said, Sleeping Beauty Castle takes on like this whole charm in its own way. And it's just, it's the moment when you stand there and you're thinking about the history and how, you know, how much is wrapped up in that little castle. It's just, it's very, very special. So it's unique in and of itself, but the best part about it, in my opinion, is the castle walkthrough experience that you can find. If you go around the back of the castle, there in the back castle courtyard, you'll find the entrance to the Sleeping Beauty castle walkthrough, and it is incredible. And it's been updated with, you know, the latest tricks from the Disney Imagineers, but it goes through, it's kind of like a dark ride, but a walkthrough. It goes through the whole story of Sleeping Beauty. It is so magical. Like, that is like Disney magic wrapped up into one whole experience. It will just warm your heart. I love Sleeping Beauty too. She is one of my favorite Disney princesses. It's changed a lot over the years, but if I remember correctly, I think like as a small child, she was like my favorite, that I always was watching that movie, Sleeping Beauty. So yeah, it's just very, very magical. I love it. All right, so now number 3, we're gonna stay in Fantasyland there in Disneyland, the Storybook Canal boats. So if you see here in my vlogs, I oftentimes always stop in Epcot's Germany and look at the little train village there that they have, the German village. Me and my mom, we both love any type of miniatures. That is just so cool. That's why at this year's Flower and Garden Festival, they did a little fairy garden and had mini houses and everything in there, and we just were like marveling at that. I think they're so cool. If you're into anything like that, you will go nuts for the Storybook Land canal boats. This boat ride, you go through miniature little villages that are set up for, I think, pretty much all of the Disney princesses now at this point. It is the most just like fairy tale whimsical attraction. It is a can't miss, and it's definitely something to prioritize because it usually gets a long line and it has to shut down anytime that there is a parade or right before the fireworks. They can't do it, so you really have to make sure that you like schedule it into your trip. Do not miss it because it is hands down like my favorite thing. I love it. I think it's so cool how they like trim the bushes and everything to look like trees, like tiny. It just, the amount of upkeep that they have to do for that one attraction is amazing to me. So do not miss that. Okay, so moving along, number 4, Disneyland's train. I love Disneyland's train for a couple of different reasons. It has different added scenes that we don't have in Disney World, like at Disney World's train. Now, granted, like, you know, it's a completely different park. So of course, like, you know, the train that goes around Magic Kingdom isn't gonna be the same as the train that goes around Disneyland, but they have a really cool dinosaur scene that you go through. It shows the Grand Canyon, and then it actually goes like you go back in time and you see when the dinosaurs like roam the earth. It is a really, really cool thing, and it's just something so original and iconic of Disneyland. I love that they have that out there. Also, ever since, so when I was in Disneyland in 2017, the train was down because they had construction on Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. When I was back out in 2019, I got to ride the train again, and I like had a moment. I was like, this is so breathtaking. There's a part now that they've expanded the train ever since they now put in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. They kind of had to change up the track some. You now go over top of the rivers of America, and there's this beautiful cascading waterfall, and oh my gosh, it is like breathtaking. It is like a postcard moment when you are on that train. So that is just something that yeah, you have to ride Disneyland's train. Okay, so this brings me to number 5, staying right there in that section. So with the Rivers of America there, where you, like I just mentioned, you know, that train that I love that goes around that area. So out there in the Rivers of America, you can actually take a canoe out. It is such a cool experience. I just did it for my first time on my most recent trip in 2019. Oh my gosh, you guys, it is amazing. So you go out with a guide and they pack a bunch of people in there. It's an arm workout too, let me tell you, but it is just so much fun. I did it in August. I was like sweating. It was like so hot out there, but it was so worth it. It's just something so unique that Disneyland has. Like, you know, we don't have that in Walt Disney World, to be able to take a little canoe out on the Rivers of America. So it's something that when you're out there, it's like an iconic thing that you must do. All right, so this brings me to number 6. So this is actually gonna be over in Disney's California Adventure Park, Cars Land. Just all of Cars Land. I would love for a Cars Land to come to Walt Disney World. I get why, you know, I like that it's original out in California. It gives us a reason, you know, to always go out and want to experience it, but I would love to have it in my home park because it is so cute. The theming to Route 66 and all the little details, it's just, every time that I'm there, I notice something different. Like, you could just stand in that land for the whole day and constantly be discovering different things. The premier attraction there is Radiator Springs Racers, which the vehicles are similar to like Test Track, but it's so fun. You drive through, looks like you're going through Route 66, the town of Radiator Springs, and then you finish with a race against another car. And oh my god, it's thrilling. It is such a thrilling attraction, and yeah, it's something that you can't miss that. Okay, so now number 7, this is gonna be back over in Disneyland Park, Indiana Jones. I think Indiana Jones is my favorite ride in all of Disneyland Park. I'm pretty sure. I love the Storybook Canal boats too, but for like a different reason. Thrill ride wise, and just something that I get so excited about because we don't have it in Disney World. I think it has to be Indiana Jones, like seriously. So Indiana Jones, fun fact, it is the same ride track, like the same exact ride track, vehicle and everything to Dinosaur and Animal Kingdom, but you're going through the Temple of Doom. Everything is themed to Indiana Jones, which is one of my favorite movies. I love the Indiana Jones series. I'm so excited for the 5th Indiana Jones movie. Is it 5th or 6th? 5th, yeah, 5th. I'm so excited for that. I would love, it's for years been rumored that they might transform Dinosaur, and like all this is just rumor, but they might transform Dinosaur and Animal Kingdom into an Indiana Jones land and convert that ride, since it's already the same ride track, convert that into Indiana Jones. I would be so on board with that, and I'd love to see an entire Indiana Jones themed land. I think that would fit well in Animal Kingdom, so that would be amazing. Like I said, all that is just forever been rumored, but I'm on board with it if it would happen. Okay, so moving along, this brings me to number 8, and it's going to be Disneyland's Pirates of the Caribbean. Disneyland's Pirates of the Caribbean is entirely different from Disney World's. I shouldn't say entirely, like there's, you know, the general story is the same, but there's so many added scenes out in California, and the ride is like significantly longer than what we have in Walt Disney World. And that just makes it like, I would love, it would be so hard to do with the, I think how it's configured in Walt Disney World, but I would love if we could get added scenes somehow to our Pirates of the Caribbean attraction, because yeah, it's incredible out there. You go through 2 different drops, you keep dropping down to like more scenes in their Pirates of the Caribbean. They also have a restaurant inside of the Pirates of the Caribbean attraction right as you take off, and it's the Blue Bayou, which is themed to you're in a Louisiana bayou, and it's so much fun. It's similar to, if you're familiar with Epcot, how in the World Showcase in the Mexico Pavilion you have the Grand Fiesta Boat Tour, and there's that restaurant right there, St. Angel Inn. It's similar to that, kind of the same style, that you can sit there and you are watching the Pirates of the Caribbean boats take off. An amazing restaurant, but yeah, I love that whole scene right there of the Louisiana Bayou, and then you drop down into the story of Pirates of the Caribbean. It's just so much more theming to it out there. I love their pirates. All right, moving right along here, number 9, Fantasyland. just all of it, all of Fantasyland out in Disneyland. There's something about it that is so charming. I love Disney World's Fantasyland, especially because in Magic Kingdom we now have new Fantasyland, and like I wouldn't trade that for anything. Having Ariel's castle back there, you guys know I love that. Mine Train, love it. That's why it's so special having, you know, they're both two entirely different things. But whenever I'm in Disneyland, I love their Fantasyland because it is so, like, I feel like not much of it has been touched since the 1950s when Disneyland opened. I love how close all the rides are out there. Like, you have Mr. Toad's Wild Ride and, you know, Snow White's ride, and everything is just those classic Disneyland dark rides. You have Pinocchio's, all of them back there, Peter Pan's Flight, like so many amazing dark rides just in such a very, what seems like such a very tiny space. Even the queues are like so close together because like everything was just made in the 50s, and there's just something so charming about that, I feel. So yeah, it's just very much, that whole area I just feel is so magical right there. I could spend forever in Disneyland's Fantasyland. Like, that might be, I also love their Adventureland, but I feel like Fantasyland in Disneyland is my favorite land by far. All right, so this brings me now to number 10. So for number 10, I have to say the entertainment out in Disneyland is something that just truly makes it so special to me. Over in California Adventure, you will find, I don't think it's happening right now, I will correct that if I'm wrong, but hopefully it will come back soon, the Frozen show out there. Don't think Frozen Sing Along in Hollywood Studios. This is a Broadway style theatrical, like full-on production. It is breathtaking. Me and my mom actually went back a second time when we were out in 2017, and we saw it like twice because it was just, it's so good. Like, it will take your breath away. The actors in that show, all the entertainers are so talented. So then not only that, but Disneyland just has all these bands that will just pop up, like musicians, bands that will just pop up throughout the park and be playing music, and everyone is so talented. I would love for Walt Disney World to bring, you know, more live entertainment acts like that, just like randomly in little places throughout the park like they do out in Disneyland. It's just that extra level of magic to your day that you're walking along and then, you know, this entertainment act comes out. It's really awesome. The Disneyland band as well out there, they do a couple times a day shows where they do, in a big band style, classic Disney songs and then modern day Disney songs, everything from Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Moana. Amazing songs they will perform. You have to stop and watch them. They are so incredibly talented, and yeah, I would love if we could get a performance similar to that in Walt Disney World because yeah, it's so good. Just sitting here, I haven't even touched on the Disneyland food. Like, I'm at my 10 now, but like I said, I knew like I was then gonna think of other things, like their Haunted Mansion out there has some unique things. The food, like I said, we haven't even talked about the food. There's so many things that I love exclusive to Disneyland, but I wanna keep this short, so some other time we will talk more about Disneyland. But yeah, I wanted to go ahead and, like I said, film this video because it is Disneyland's anniversary this weekend, and I wanted to give Disneyland some love, and hopefully I will be out there very soon. In the future, like I said, I'd love to, I'm picturing my future is like live in Disney World, vacation in Disneyland, and we will have lots more Disneyland content coming here to the channel in the future. All right guys, so with that, please go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, leave me some comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, all those things, your likes, your comments, subscriptions, having notifications on, all that really does go such a far way in helping to support the channel and in turn helping to support me. So thank you so much for taking the time to do all of that. I hope you have a wonderful day, make today magical, and I will see you soon in my next video. Bye guys.